Hello, welcome back to Cracking the Cryptic, and looking forward to having a look at a setter called Xeon Risk. I think we've done 2 Xeon Risk puzzles already. Simon did them both, and the first one was called, the video was called A New Setter with Some Amazing Tricks, and that was really borne out in the video. So I'm really looking forward to trying to get to grips with a very interesting looking construction here. There's quite a few rules, but they are of the standard types at least. So we'll look at that in a moment. I do want to mention the people who've been sending in Patreon solutions. Very well done to you all if you've completed the December reward puzzle. Not one of our hardest, but each puzzle has some very, well, interesting tricks again. So do have a look at the December reward, the CTC Mexican standoff. Try and work out which constructor won this three-way duel that they all unwittingly entered. Thank you so much to Paper, Scissors and Janine and Chili, the constructors, for letting us use their puzzles. It's gone really well, and we're very pleased with the results. Well done to the hundreds of people now who've sent in right answers. So that's on Patreon. You can look on the links below the video, as well as this puzzle. There will be links to Discord and to all of our apps, Sven's SUDOKU Pad, the merchandise. Do check it out. Everything that we do is down there in the description field. But the first link is to this puzzle. And let's go through the rules now. So, normal Sudoku rules apply. Fine. Oh no, they don't actually. That is not true, sorry. Normal Sudoku rules do not apply. Each row, column and region must contain the digits 1 to 9. Because we don't have 3x3 boxes, we have regions like this one, which contain the digits 1 to 9 this time. But each row and column also contains them. Numbers along an arrow must sum to the number shown in the circled cells. So those 3 add up to that. Numbers must not repeat on the marked diagonals. So we have these blue diagonals. This must be a set of the digits 1 to 9, and the same on the other one. Cells with grey circles must contain odd digits. Cells with grey squares must contain even digits. Numbers that appear in the cells between a ratio constraint must have a ratio of 2. That's the black dots. So, sorry, numbers on the black dots have a ratio. So these pair of digits have a ratio of 1 to 2. And these on a white dot must be consecutive digits. Not all dots are given. So these are fairly standard ideas. If you recognize any of our puzzles and the markings in them, you'll know what these are. But they've been combined into this very interesting sort of circular grid. I don't know what we're going to find. Do give it a try on the link under the video. You can judge from the video length how hard this is, I guess. I'm going to start now without that advantage. Let's get cracking. Right, I mean, with these puzzles, with a whole set of rules and fairly equal deployment of them, like there are the 2 marked diagonals, there are all the regions, there are quite a number of circles and squares and arrows. You have to sort of pick away at what might be the best thing. I do know a very good thing, right. I do focus on arrows early on, and yeah, I was wondering why the rules didn't mention whether numbers could repeat on arrows, but that is because there is no way they can. Each of these arrows is in a region of its own, so it couldn't contain any repeats because the regions can't have any. Now, they are all therefore containing 3 different digits, and that tells me that each of the circles must have the numbers 6, 7, 8, 9. That's because the minimum total of 3 digits is 1 plus 2 plus 3 is 6, and 9 is the biggest Sudoku digit. Now, what I know from past puzzles about these cells on a diagonal Sudoku is that they all have to be different, and that is because if you take any one of them, it sees the others. So that one sees this on the horizontal line, that on the vertical, sorry, that in the row, that in the column, and this on the diagonal. So it has to be different from all of them. They all share that relationship. So this is a set of the numbers 6, 7, 8, and 9. And that said, I don't know where that takes us at all. The 6 arrow is obviously going to be 1, 2, 3. The 7 arrow is going to be 1, 2, 4, but the 8 arrow has 2 possibilities, and the 9 has 4 possibilities. But now what I'm wondering is, given these positions of the arrows, can we actually have 4 ones, or is the 9 forced to be a 2, 3, 4? I suppose we could have 4 ones in, as long as they're not in the corners. A corner would take out the chance for a 1 to appear 4 times, because it would use up 1 row and column and only leave a maximum of 3. But 1 could appear in all of those. So this very minimal deduction that I was after, that the 9 will be a 2, 3, 4, is not available. So what can we do? The crop key dots don't look very useful at all. The circles, I mean, I said there were a few, but these really are the minimum. There's obviously something about how these circles are positioned and squares relative to the diagonals. What's that? This is a weird shaped region. The fact that this is a 6, 7, 8, 9 set doesn't eliminate 6, 7, 8. Well, it eliminates 6, 7, 8, 9 from that cell, but not from any others, because the other diagonal will have the same 2 digits that are there. The negative diagonal must have those 2 digits on somewhere, if not in these cells. Okay. Well, I said Xeon Risk was a setter with amazing new tricks. See, I'm looking at these boxes, which in other circumstances we might call Fistemafell boxes. But I was going to use the word obviously. The Fistemafell ring doesn't apply in an irregular Sudoku. So there is something about the nature of a puzzle that would normally appear with the 9 3x3 boxes that I can explain, that would mean that the digits in those cells, which are actually quite interesting, they contain all the squares and circles, were exactly the same as the digits in these cells. But I don't think that applies in an irregular Sudoku. I don't see how you could force it to. We may have to work out, I suppose we may have to work out our own set theory for irregular Sudoku. That is nasty. Is that, I mean, I can't, I'd love to approach this in a way that doesn't use set theory, but I'm not sure that I can see anything. I mean, I'm not sure I'm going to be able to find a way that does, but let's just think about how can we get those involved in a comparison with the ring, say, or something else central. Right. Okay, I'm going to highlight rows 1 and 2, rows 8 and 9. I'm going to color them green, say. That's obviously 4 sets of the digits 1 to 9, because each row must have those. Here is something. Okay, I'm also, okay, let's change from green for a specific reason. Okay, I'm going to make them blue. I'm also going to add to that highlighting columns 1, 2, 8 and 9. Now if I make them all blue, well, fair enough, but I haven't now allowed for the fact that I'm double counting these corner boxes. They're not really boxes, but you know what I mean. So I'm going to make them purple. So I've highlighted 8 sets of the digits 1 to 9. And for the cells I've double counted, they're in purple. Now I'm going to highlight 8 regions in this puzzle. And I'm going to choose, that is all of the regions except 1. And I'm going to ignore the central plus shape. So if I highlight the regions around it, that's those. And if I then highlight the regions around the perimeter, that's those. I'm going to make them green. I mean, what a colourful, flashy grid. Yes, I can see what's going to happen now. Right, I'm now going to eliminate cells which are in both green and blue. So what I've done is I've highlighted 8 sets of the digits 1 to 9 in blue, doubling up. If it's in purple, they're doubled. Then I've highlighted 8 sets of the digits 1 to 9 in green. So the highlighting in blue and the highlighting in green are effectively exactly the same. Now I'm going to deduct out 4 2x5 rectangles that have 1 each green and blue, because they're obviously the same. If I deduct them out from my algebraic equation, I'm still balanced. Now I'm going to take green out of the corners, but that means I have to reduce purple, which is double blue, to a single blue. So that's what I'm doing. And now we have an exact equivalence between these corner boxes, which is what I was after, and rather surprisingly, these 4 2x2 boxes here. These have to have exactly the same digits. And I think that's interesting. And now I think I have to consider what the makeup of these arrows is. What do we do now? I mean, this is useful. This is definitely something. Now, is this about where 6, 7, 8, 9 appear in green? Because one of them at least is in green every time. Or is it about the smaller digits? Or is it both? I don't know. I feel we're on the right track though. Oh, it's about, is it about odds and evens because of these circles and squares? It is, I think. Okay, what I'm now going to suggest is it's about repeating digits in these cells. It is, somehow. Yeah, if you had odd digits here and here, whatever they were, no, if you had even digits there and there, I'm seeing this now. If you had even digits in those positions, and this might apply to 6, 7, 8, 9 as well, then where would those even digits appear in green? They couldn't be on the same diagonal. They couldn't be in the odd cells. So these even digits, if they were even, couldn't be there or there. They'd have to be, you could put one on the other diagonal, one each if they were different. I don't know, hang on. The point I'm going to make is that these 4 cells all see each other. I think that's the case for each green box. That sees those 2 horizontally and vertically, and that one on the diagonal. And these 3, these are in the same box, the same region. This matters in some way. Now I think maybe what we have to do is think about the makeup of these little cells. Now at the moment, as I said, we could have up to 6 in those. With 9 could be 1, 2, 6 or 1, 3, 5 or 2, 3, 4. It has 3. I think I said it had 4 makeups, but it only has 3. Let's go back to that question about 4 1s. If we did put 4 1s in here, can we get 4 1s? No, we can't. We could put a 1 here and here, say. Yeah, you can right, okay. This is the vital point. Got it. Can we have 4 1s in the green? And the answer is no. And I now know why. Because each of these boxes sees, each cell within the box sees each other. So you can have 1 1 there, you can have another 1 here. That's 2 of them. Now you could have a 1 in this box by putting it on the diagonal, but then you couldn't have a 1 in this box because it can't be on the even cells and it couldn't also be on the diagonal. Obviously you could put a 1 in this box, but at the expense of a 1 there. So you cannot have 4 1s. Right. So now I'm just going to note down, now we know that 6 is made up by 1, 2, 3, 7 by 1, 2, 4. 8 must have a 1 in it, and 9 now can't have a 1 in it because you couldn't get 4 1s into the greens. You could put 4 1s in the blues, but you couldn't in the greens. So 9 must be 2, 3, 4. And now there's 3 2s used, and the same logic applies to 2s because the squares match the circles. You could put a 2 in there, you could put another 1 in there, no problem, but you could only put 1, 2 in those 2 regions between them. So there is not a 4th 2 in the 8 makeup, and it is 1, 3, 4. And now we know that the 6, 7, 8, 9 in these circles have arrows that constitute 1, 2, 3, 4, 3 times each. Wow, that is bonkers and brilliant and intriguing. And I'm going to fill in those candidates of 1, 2, 3, 4 because they make up 1, 2, 3, 4 quadruples all around the perimeters. And these other cells must be 5, 6, 7, 8 or 9. Oh, I'll tell you what they also do. In the corners, they make up another set of 1, 2, 3, 4 because those corners all see each other just as these cells did. These corners all see each other. They all have to be different. So that must be a set of 1, 2, 3, 4. And this is our first digit in the grid. And this follows the rule of Pyman, by which some of the best puzzles have a 5 in the absolute center. And this is a weird one, but there we go. We get a 5 there. So I could take 5 out of... these are on black Kropke dots, these ones. So it can't be 7 or 9 here or down here. That is 6 or 8 and it connects to a 3 or 4 on the black Kropke dot. And these cannot be the same as each other because if they were, where would you put that digit in this shape? You couldn't put it anywhere. So that's a 3, 4 pair. Are we forming another set? I don't see how we're doing anything. Well, okay, maybe I do. If this is 6 or 8, the same deal applies with 6 and 8. They're a pair. So 8, say that was 8. 8 must appear somewhere there in this shape, and that would be 6. So this forms an effective a hypothetical pair of 6, 8 in those cells, and this can't be 6 or 8. And exactly the same, if that was 8, say, then there would be an 8 there, that would be 6. And again, you form a hypothetical pair of 6, 8 there, and that becomes 7, 9. And in fact, this is now a set of 6, 7, 8, 9. We know these can't be the same because exactly the same problem applies with the plus shape. And I think we might even be able to complete the set with a 1, 2 here. If 7, whatever these 3 cells are, must appear here, forming virtual pairs with those 3 cells. So in those 7 cells, we're definitely using 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So 1 and 2 can only appear once in those and there. So actually that is a 1, 2 pair. And they must be different because they can't be the same again. That is weird. Okay, I don't even know if we're going to be able to use it, but that's funny. Now, how do we tell which is which? That must be the next step. We have to work out which of these pairs is which. Right, this is in this weird shape with, oh, do these have to be low? Yes, they do. We've got to get 3 sets of 1, 2, 3, and 4 into here, along with 1, 6, 1, 7, 1, 8, and 1, 9. Now, whatever's here must be on this diagonal. Whatever's in these circles must be on this diagonal. That's using up 4 of the 16 coloured digits. And the other 12 include these 8 cells. They must all be low. They must be. And obviously the circles are 1 and 3 pairs. And the squares are 2 and 4 pairs. Oh, hang on. I don't know that I've proved that. Sorry, I'm going to go back there. No, because why couldn't 6, 7, 8, 9 be in the circles? They don't. No, they can't. They can't. 6, 7, 8, 9 can't be in the circles and squares because they have to appear on the other diagonal. Those 2 must be on the other diagonal somewhere, and they must be in green cells. The logic was fine. I'm going back to 2 4s there and 1 3s here. And this does disambiguate. Look, we've got a 2 4 here in a shape. Look at the shape of this shape, if I may say so. 2 4 pair makes that a 3. And we've got another digit after that first 5. And that means this 1 3 shape makes that a 4. Now, let's tidy up some of the pencil markings. They can't have 8s. These can't have 6s. Do we know? I don't. Oh, yeah, hang on. From this 2 4 pair, we know that's a 1. And from that 1 3 pair, we know that's a 2. I don't think this sorts out the 7 9 pair. Doesn't feel like it ought to. But we have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a 6, and an 8 in the grid. Now, yeah, let's tidy up pencil marking with the 1 as well, and with the 2. There's not much to tidy up with these, but I think it's actually significant. This is so clever, it's mad. Look. Remember our shapes, the 9, sorry, remember our arrows. We worked out that the 6 is a 1, 2, 3, the 7 is a 1, 2, 4, the 8 is a 1, 3, 4, and the 9 is a 2, 3, 4. Now, where is the 9? And this 1 will tell us something about that answer. It's going to say that the 9 is in a shape that doesn't have a 1. Now at the moment we've got quite a lot of possible 1 cells highlighted. But look at these 4 cells. There can only be 1 1 in those 4 cells. And that means that one of these blue boxes does not have a 1 in, and therefore is the one that has a 9 in the circle. So 9 is in one of those 2 circles, and not in one of these. And I think we can pull the same trick with 2s. The only shape that doesn't have the only circle that doesn't have a 2 on its arrow is 8. 2 is in one of those places, so one of these 2 blue boxes is the 8 box. So 8 is in those cells and not in these. Let's keep going round. 3 is in one of those two places. The shape that doesn't, the circle that doesn't have a 3 is a 7. So 7 is in one of those two cells and not in one of these two. And again with 4, only one of those blues can have a 4. Both of those blues at the top do have 4s. So 6 is in one of those two and not one of these. Oh, and that reduces them all to 2 possibilities. Oh, but the parity. Wasn't I thinking about the parity? I don't think it's relevant for these, but maybe it's relevant for the smaller numbers. So, yes, this is relevant. If I was to put, if I was to put any odd digit here, no, if I was to, yes, if I was to put an even digit here, then I couldn't put that digit. Say I put a 2 there. I couldn't put that 2 on any of those cells because of the diagonal. Obviously, I've got it once here and once here, but I'm going to be using 3 2s. Where am I going to put the other 2 if I put a 2 being an even digit here? I can't put it in those cells because I've definitely put it twice into those. And as I said, in these 2 by 2s, they all see each other. So as soon as I put a 2 there, it can't be in either of those. If I put a 2 in there, it can't be in either of those. So these 2 cannot be even. That's right. Oh, that's so weird. So that's a 1-3 pair. The same applies here for odds. Because again, if I was to put a 1 there, how am I going to get a third 1 into the green cells? Couldn't do it. Right. So these are even. Now, does this apply to the bigger numbers too? No, I don't think it does. Oh, but these are in the shape. Whatever this is can't be there or there. And it can't be there or there or there on the diagonal. No, that doesn't resolve it. Oh, come on. What's this done? 2-4 pair there. Oh. Look, I've used 2, 4 and 3 in this. Right, I've got a 1-3 pair there, so I need to have a 1 on this diagonal. Can't go there because that's in a box with a 1, a region. Can't go there because that's actually in a region with a 1 in the other 1-3 pair. So the 1 on the diagonal is in one of those places. Oh my God, and they're both looking at that cell. So that can't be a 1. That is mental. So also for a 3, where's 3 on the other diagonal? Now it can't be, it's a bit more straightforward. It can't be there or there. So it's in one of those two cells, and that makes that one a 1. Must be able to do the same with 2s and 4s. This is extraordinary, isn't it? So there's a 2 in one of those two cells. Where's the 2 on the other diagonal? It could be in those 4. But there's a 2-4 pair looking at that cell. There's a 2-4 pair looking at that cell. Oh, this doesn't work as well. 2 is in one of those two cells. I think this is a 2-4 pair now. Is that right? 2 is definitely in one of those two cells. I'm just going to try with 4, which has to be in one of these cells on this diagonal. Yeah, again, they're looking at both those. So what I get with 2 and 4 is a little 2-4 pair. That is so strange. Right. But maybe I can use that a different way. I've got a 2-4 pair This can't be low. I'm looking for low digits now. Oh no, there's a 2 there. This becomes a 4. Sorry, it's not a pair because of that 2. 4, 2. Now I can disambiguate these little squares. Have I got all my ones? No, I've got very few of them written in. But maybe there are other shapes now where I can decide where a 1 goes. Ah, the big plus? No, 1 is in one of those two. That's not... I wonder if... I probably do know... Oh, I tell you what I know is that these cells are from 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 because this region has 1, 2, 3, 4 in it. And that makes a quintuple of 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 in this row. And this is low, and it's not 4. It's 1, 2, or 3. So which of these shapes in the cell is a 4? That one. This can't be a 6. That's a 9 going 4, 3, 2. That makes that an 8 with 4, 3, 1. That makes this a 7 with 1, 4, 2 on it. That makes this a 6 with 1, 2, 3. And those corner boxes are all done. That's incredible. Oh, this is a 6, 8 pair on that diagonal. We've still got 7, 9, 1, and 3 to put in these green cells. Okay, let's look at 1s first. Those two can't be 1s. I'm not sure. Let's do the same thing with high digits. Yes, it's going to work here. Where does 3 go in this row? That's the simple thing. 3 must be here. This is a 1. This must be a 2 in this column. It's the only place it can go. This must be a 4 in the column. Yes. And now maybe I have done all the ones. 1, 2, 3. Oh, the 1 in the plus and... Okay, where's 1 in this row? Oh, I haven't got a 1 in this shape. That's peculiar. So it's got to be here. Right. Yes, okay, that's good. I must be able to fill in this as a 3 by working out where a 3 is in this shape. Yes, that works. So these are a 7, 9 pair. And I don't know that I can resolve those yet, but we'll get there. Now, still haven't resolved that 7, 9 pair either, interestingly. Right, this is a 5, 8, 9 triple for the column, so that's a 6. We can take 6 and 9 out of those. That's 5, 7, 8 in the shape. That makes that a 9. This is an 8 on the diagonal. That's a 7. The diagonals are finished. Now, let's tidy up some pencil marks. We can take 8 and 9 out of there. We can take 6 and 7 out of those cells. These are 5, 6, and 7. These are 5, 6, and 9. Done those. 3, 6, 1, 5. 2. I can do the last 1, 2, 3, 4 in the central box now. 2, 1, 3, and 4. So these are from 7, 8, and 9. These are from 6, 7, and 9. Come on, it's got to be the white Kropke dots now, hasn't it? Although they still seem to have lots of possibilities. So hang on, think about this, Mark. I've got these squiggly shapes. They're all good. Okay, 8 can't be on this white dot because it would have to be with 7 or 9, which is there. So therefore 9's not on the dot either. So those are from 5, 6, or 7. That digit is going to be the same as that one. Oh, that's even better. Yeah, where does this cell go in this box? In this region? It must go there. So that's not a 6 either. So that's 5 or 7, and this is a 6. Wow, okay, good. So those don't have a 6. That's not a 6. So 5 or 7 there in the bottom row, that's 5 or 7. Oh, well, it's not 7, it's 5. That means where does 5 go in this column? It's got to be here on a white dot with a 6. A 6, not a 0. That's a 7, that's a 9, that's an 8, that finishes the first row. That's a 7, that's a 5, that's a 6. I honestly think we're suddenly finishing off now this absolutely unbelievable construction. Oh, this has been incredible. And we're not finished yet, so calm down. That's not a 6 anymore. So the 6 in the central box is there. So that's not 8. That is also 5 or 9. In fact, it's got to be 9. 5 there. Can't do that 8-9 pair. This is an 8-7 pair, which I can do. So now I can do 8-9. That's a 9. This is going to be a 7-8 pair in the middle. This is now a 7-8 pair down here. We know which one is a 7. 5 and 7 to go in this row. That's the wrong thing to look at. This is a 9. This is a 6. That stops this being a 6. This has become a 5. There we go. 9 on a dot. 9 on a dot gives us 8 on the other one. 9 and 7. 2 pairs left to go. Must be able to do either of them. Yes. What a brilliant puzzle that is. That really is something different by Xeon Risk. I mean, you had to develop your own understanding of set theory there. So the reason I focused on these corners was I was very keen on them just because they were the cells with the most information. That's why I went for highlighting those to start with. Then I added in columns 1, 2, 8, and 9 as well, because I was so keen to isolate these areas which looked important too. Although I suppose at that time I didn't know I was going for these 2x2 boxes. Oh, that is just brilliant though. What a wonderful puzzle. I assume it has to be done by set theory. I'll be very interested if you say there are other ways of going about that. I'm intrigued by that. Thank you, Xeon Risk, for sending it. Thank you, Simon, for letting me do it. That has been great fun. And I very much look forward to your comments. See you soon on the channel. Bye for now.